third National Development Plan, which is NDP3, has set it's first of all a 5-year plan that is aimed at guiding the country in how to move in terms of development to get us to where the country wants to be after 30 years. But after 30 years, there's a vision 2040, which was further broken down into a set of 6 national development plans, and we're currently on the third. So the third development plan is supposed to guide the country, and in its setup, it's moving us from the sector-wide approach to a program-based approach. Program-based approach because when you work as sectors, it's like you're in silos, and everyone is catering for themselves. Education is alone, agriculture is alone, ICT is alone. So the NDP came up with programs as a way of putting together these interventions and removing all the duplication. Duplication how? You find agriculture has an element where it does maybe road construction. I won't call it full road construction, but under it there's some money that is going to fixing roads. It provides water for production. This water for production ideally would have been under Ministry of Water and Environment. So with the program approach, it's able to bring different sectors together that could work towards implementing a particular area favorably. And with that, I'll give the example of agro-industrialization. Agriculture as a sector cannot work on its own. When you have the produce, it has to go to the market. And if you're to look at direct terms, going to the market, you're trading. So one would say, after the produce has been made by agriculture, give it to Ministry of Trade to take charge. But then there's a possibility of the two working together. So the agro-industrialization is completing that chain that you, as a farmer, produce, and you're able to connect to the market. So they connect you to the different market avenues. And that's how the NDP has run most of what it's doing. Private sector development. You have the traders, bring them together, see how they, what are the challenges that they're meeting that they can work to wholesomely. So going back to the allocation, it's not necessarily looking at the numbers that this one is prioritized and the other is not prioritized. It's looking at what are the numbers doing. I'll use an example for the next financial year 2021-22. As the draft budget stands now, human capital development is seen to have the biggest proportion, up to 17% of its budget, of the total budget is going to human capital development. That's 17% of 44 trillion going to human capital development. Human capital development takes in effect health, education, and social development. Social development looking at issues around gender, empowerment, issues of the sort. When one looks at that, they'll say, yay, health and education and social development are getting a big proportion. But that, what is driving the biggest bit of that budget is money going to a purchase of the COVID-19 vaccine. So when you look at just the numbers, you will think everything is rosy. But then this is a small, I won't call it a smaller element, but it's an element within the program that is driving the budget up that way. So it becomes crucial to go beyond looking at the numbers, to looking at what these money are doing. Look at education, what is going in there. We have a new curriculum, for example. Are the teachers trained? Are they ready to have it set stage for those that have gone back to school? Do we have drugs in the health centers? Is a mother, for example, catered for when she goes to deliver? These are some of the things that we can do. Sometimes, let me say, the country gets into, I don't want to call them policies and practices per se, that happen time in, time out, that we need to look into as a country and revise. That is one of them, and that I'll take the buying of MPs vehicles. I'll take as a whole to our expenditure. What are we spending money on? I don't want to call it wasteful expenditure, but it's us checking what we're spending our money on. Is it a priority or is it not? Our increased expenditure has been driven by, you just mentioned that the purchase of vehicles. We have districts that are cut out every now and then. These districts, it's not just a matter of giving a name. It goes beyond that to securing staff that will run the administration, having administrative blocks and dealing with utilities that come with it, having developments within the district. These are all expenses that our country needs to look into. And if there was a possibility to cut down on the number of districts we have and also see what is our expenditure going to. For us as citizens to play a fair share, and pay our taxes, because that's the oil that keeps the engine running. It's a right for each one of us. We are all supposed to pay our taxes, but also going to government. This is a cry to government to close the gaps that are there, that lead to wastage of this revenue. Let us think through our expenditures. There are some that can wait, or there are some that we can actually do away with, especially with the condition regime. It's good for us to use this time to clean house and see what expenditures can wait for later, what expenditures we can do away with. But like for example, the districts, they are increasing, they are not running at full potential. It hurts when we say we have over 100 local governments and they are not able to implement as they should be implementing. Why do we have them in the first place? So us thinking through our expenditure and seeing how to refine it, the NDP has helped part of that through the program-based approach, but also we need to go beyond that and see what other gaps we need to close.